is Shiny, and I'm simply saying, big up DJ Socoholic, taking soca to the top.
I had a plan to put in February, but if they do masses, spoil in the country. Hey, August is the time. August, we getting down. August, we just can't help. August, we have the show. I wanna hear we passing. That's the song we chanting. Tuesday morning.
A pleasant good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. I know you all are not seeing me as yet. I'm quite aware of this.
What is your aim? Tell me, what do you see? Why you want to put past February? Tell us if August will bring you enough money. Hey, August is
A pleasant good evening to all the persons that are already on my Facebook page.
down. August, we just got
I gave you all a little time to finish up by Sister Jenny.
the show. I wanna hear we
I myself was very much intrigued with her conversation today.
chanting.
And so I stayed there a little while. I said she had to finish today for me to start my class, man.
Tuesday evening.
So go ahead right now and share up the live. Let them know that I'm here. You're not seeing me. I'm quite aware of that.
Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning. Tuesday evening. That's the song we chanting.
There's a little bit of glitch in my programming.
Well, no, I make two. Bring the vehicle. Bring the
But before we start today, I am only not being seen as yet
Yo is
because I have to do something complimentary to the police force.
DJ Socoholic,
Lovely Mark.
soca to the top.
Sister Julie Dubois, good afternoon. Charmaine Rambasing, good evening to you, ma'am. Glenda, good evening.
What if they do masses? What?
Sister Daisy.
August is the time. August,
Alicia Mitchell, how are you, my dear?
August, we just can't help.
So go ahead and share the live.
Have the show.
We are about to start. Class
That's the song we
is in session.
Tuesday morning.
Lovely Mark, the best time of the year is here. It is August,
Higher talk.
the 3rd of August.
What is it?
So good evening to everybody.
See?
Yeah, Auntie Jenny was epic. I had to listen to Auntie Jenny today.
Tell us if August will bring you enough money. Hey,
Facts with information, that is what it is.
time. August, we getting down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So good afternoon again. And I really want to start today's programming by you not seeing me as yet. I want to ensure that I do this one compliments the Royal Grenada Police Force. And so, on the behalf of the Royal Grenada Police Force, they would have sent me some tips in order to share to the general public. And so, I would be doing this at this time. So, for any information or guidelines, the RGPF is speaking through me this afternoon, and they're mentioning, as Carnival approaches, several incidents and mishaps are likely to occur. Here are some of the safety tips complements the Royal Grenada Police Force that will ensure your personal safety and the safety of your family, property, and areas around you. All right? So one of which they're mentioning, when going to a fete, wear minimal jewelry, travel in groups to and from the activities, do not carry around or display large sum of monies, which is very important. Ensure wallets and purses are not visible. Do not accept drinks from strangers nor leave drinks unattended. Very important, especially to the ladies. All right. Pre-arrange transportation and designate a sober driver. Somebody said the RGPF allows, send me the information. I have a large following. I will do just that. I will be posting it on my Facebook page also, people. All right. Personal safety. Do not leave valuable items in plain sight in your vehicle. Be alert, aware of the surrounding. Pay attention to suspicious individuals. They're also saying avoid carrying large sum of cash and use checks, debit cards, or credit cards once possible. In using the ATMs, inside of well-populated buildings or well-lit areas, withdraw only what is needed. All right, so that is very important this evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is information coming from the Rockland Police Force as they give you safety tips for this year's Carnival season. When going to Feta Limes, be sure your vehicle is properly secured and parked in a well-lit area. Use pay car parks whenever possible. All right, do not overcrowd vehicles. Do not drink and drive. I think this is a constant information that has been disseminated throughout the years. They say notify the police whenever you observe strange activities around your vehicle. Be vigilant at all times when returning home, especially at nights and if you're traveling alone. Ladies, I want to continue saying ladies, you'll tend to be more or easily targeted when it comes to those situations where the RGPF is seeking to ask you to be more vigilant during your travel. All right, have your key in hand when you're approaching your vehicle. Paramount importance. When you're going to your vehicle, it's important that you have your key in hand. All right, they say do not leave vehicle unattended with key in the ignition or with engine running. Information again. To prevent your vehicle from being stolen, always roll up the window, lock the doors, and install anti-theft devices. Now, during the Carnival Monday and Tuesday, I remember my tenure within the RGPF within that area. What usually happens is the person's parking at the botanical gardens. There is normally an issue there. When it comes to the parking at the botanical gardens, persons normally has their vehicles glass broken and items stolen. So that is one of the things that could be very, very, very important. Do not leave valuable items exposed in your vehicles. Be cautious of persons loitering near traffic lights and obey traffic signals. So you might be traveling, let's say you're on Halifax Street one night and the traffic light turns red. You see two guys standing on either side of the road. It is important that you be vigilant as it relates to them. Accident prevention. Drivers should be well rested and alert at all times. Watch out for pedestrians, motorcyclists, bicyclists, and other road users. All right? Especially when you come from events in the morning or the morning events when you're about it's 5, 6 in the morning. As old people say, when you just have to make dust. Right? Pay attention to the persons that normally go for the morning exercises and so. Avoid speeding and improper overtaking. All right? Do not drink and drive if drinking. Have a designated driver. Pay full attention to the road. Avoid distractions like eating, drinking, playing loud music, cell phones, and other devices. All right? Accident prevention tips. Drive cautiously, defensively, and remain alert at all times. Drivers should be on lookout for intoxicated, inexperienced, and careless drivers. Maintain a safe distance between your vehicle and other vehicles. Paramount importance. All right. So I'm quite aware, people, that you're not seeing me as yet, but I said I just want to do this in this manner so you hear me more than you see me. All right. So tend to hear the information that I'm giving. All right. Be cautious while driving at night. Remember to dim your lights as other traffic approaches. Observe speed limits, follow road rules and sign, and use turn signals. Conduct maintenance on your vehicle to prevent accidents due to mechanical defects. Don't be the one to say on Carnival Friday you feel like a thing in the wheel or a little thing in the brakes, and after Carnival you're going to fix it. All right, it's important to check your vehicles before getting into the carnival season. You don't want to be a memory. All right? Safety for our kids. Children's safety. Wear ID cards bearing their name or name of parents or guardians, address, and telephone numbers. Now, I know one may laugh at this, but even if you don't give them a name tag, sometimes it is important. Don't be scared to put a piece of paper in your child's pocket if you know they're walking out with two little friends away from you. It is nothing wrong in writing your name on a piece of paper and your number and place it in their pockets. There is nothing wrong with that. It may seem laughable, but it's important. Or if your child is deemed to be intelligent enough, there is nothing wrong in telling them or giving them or reminding them as it relates to your cell phone number or somebody's whose name they may be able to remember. All right, or even the place where they live. All right, children are not to be left alone or unsupervised at home or in vehicles. Children are not to be left in the care of strangers. No, there is a habit. Elders, you all may see incidents on Carnival Monday and Tuesday, and it may be somebody that you know. And to go and try to deal with the situation or help the person, you may just tell a stranger, hold my child for me. Do not do that. Do not do that. All right? Do not accept food or drinks from strangers. That is for our kids. Don't allow and keep reminding your children during the carnival season, whenever they go, don't just allow any and anybody to give them a drink, all right, or food, all right? Not to be taken to fetes, calypso tents, and other adult events, all right? You know what usually happens at those events, and so you don't want to bring children in those, events to expose them in any kind of way. We're also speaking, your children do not use public conveniences unless an adult accompanies them, meaning their restrooms and other things like that. I'm not expecting a child to be at a teller machine. All right? So that is the safety for our kids. Now, the safety for our homes, they say, be sure to properly lock your doors and windows. Never leave your key in a secret hiding place on the outside. Now, many a times we tend to do that. Leave it under the mat. Leave it in the flower pot. Leave it in the washing machine in the veranda. No, it is important that once you can hold your key on you, and if you're renting as a tenant, sometimes it is nothing wrong in giving your landlord, if he or she may not be moving anytime soon, the keys for your apartment or places. Homeowners, it is important that you hold your key on you or ensure that persons within or who occupies the house have a key to access the house. All right. They say never leave the key, all right, in secret hiding places. We're going through that one. Do not keep large amount of cash at home. Now, people, yes, you may get paid late on Friday evening, Carnival Friday. All right. Let me go old school. Give somebody your monies to hold. There are people that are observing. The people that you see just standing casually around, they're looking for you when you're on the bus and you pull out how much money on the bus. They are paying attention. All right. So record serial numbers of all electronic appliances. Let me tell you the importance of this. We know definitely that a lot of us shop in nearly the same places, right? So everybody may have a Toshiba Smart TV. So it is important, ladies and gentlemen, that you take this serial number. So in case that the police has to get the information from you, you can say the serial number of my television is X, Y, or Z. So when the police is searching for that item, they know specifically the item that they're looking for. All right? Unplug all electronic appliances when leaving home. Of paramount importance. Something I have a friend said to me that she does regularly over the weekend is that she removed the head on her gas. And she says it's just a habit. And when I think about it, it's important also, right? Those things are of paramount importance. All right? Do not give out information to strangers about who is at home, who is out, or who know or how long they will be out for. You understand me? You normally meet somebody at the bank. They're a stranger. You're sitting. You understand me? And you're there. Even your phone conversations, people. It is important that you're on the phone and you're saying to somebody, oh, I leave them 2 children home to run and come back, It's just she and she brother. Or I leave my grandmother, she alone at the home. So are they in the bank, are they outside for just about an hour? There are people listening to that. You understand me? Make your conversations private. Especially as it relates to who was at home. Or you want to tell somebody, even if, and we just mentioned about the keys and where your keys should be left. Now we know what happens sometimes on the rush. You might still put it in the flower pot. But don't be on a bus and telling somebody, I lay the key in the flower pot. As you're reaching the house, look in the second flower pot. And you're making this a conversation that is loud. Break that out. All right? They say communicate with neighbors or good neighbors in the best crime prevention tool security that you can have. Now, we always like to tell people this habit about we dog coward. I don't know what about us Grenadians. Don't worry, the dog doesn't bite, it'll just play. Listen to me. Somebody's still going to be cautious if they know that you have a dog in your yard. Tie your dog, even if you have to make it bad for a day. You understand me? Think of ways in which you and your neighbor, you can look over for your neighbor and so on. When you're leaving, tell your neighbor, watch her, I'm going out there, but grandma they home, please pay attention to. So all those things are of paramount importance, all right? If you find someone in your home, listen to this very carefully. If you find someone in your home, stay out of their way. Get out as soon as possible. Immediately call the police. People, men now, don't play hero. Do not play hero. We tend to play hero, especially the men. You meet somebody on your premises, you meet somebody in your place, and you tend to want to be Jack Sparrow. Let us try to avoid that for this carnival season, because you see, at the end of the day, those persons are going to be on the defensive same way. They are going to want to defend themselves, and they're going to do so by any means necessary. If it means grabbing something and knock you out as the homeowner, they will do it. Or you never know what they have in their possession. All right? If it's an offensive weapon or so on and so forth. All right? That is of paramount importance. Place all police and emergency number in easy to reach areas or safe numbers on dial speed or speed dial. All right? People, get the number for your nearest police station and have it on your cell phone, or the emergency number is 911. This is the number, so definitely you have no issues. All right, we're moving on. Secure all ladders and other implements in a locker room. Important again. Let me tell you what is the importance of that. Your house might be high, but we tend to always live with ladder below the house. Right? Now, if the ladder is not in immediate use, and then again, it is important when we speak as it relates to your neighbor and the friendliness between you and your neighbor. There is nothing wrong in asking your neighbor to put it in his or her garage or locker room or some way. Take it and bring it in the living room. You understand me? Those things are important. Don't make it easy for the perpetrators. All right? They say notify the police and neighbors if you are going to be away for a long period. No. There are persons that might have traveled already. There are persons that might be traveling for the carnival season. Don't be scared to walk into the police station and say the blue house on the top at the hill up there, that is my house, but I'll be leaving Grenada for 2 weeks. The police has heightened their mobile and foot patrol, and it is important. Persons, you have to ensure that you keep your areas safe. All right? Ensure that all your property is illuminated at night. We have a tendency to take out veranda light. We know Grand Lake Bill High. People, if you have veranda or outside light, don't be scared to leave it on. Don't be scared to leave it on. Yes, you might be sleeping, but there are times, especially when you're living close to high bushy areas, it is important, very important, all right? And last but not least, be observant when returning home, especially at night, all right? So, ladies and gentlemen, this was information that was given to me by the Royal Grenada Police Force as it relates to your safety and the safety of your properties when visiting or being out for this carnival season. And so I am happy to have disseminated the information for them, and we are now going to step into our everyday conversations. All right, so it's time for you all to see my handsome face. All right. All right, so good afternoon to each and every one of you guys. I hope everybody is doing fine, and I know you just heard the voice, you didn't see me in person, but here am I now, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to today I want to give as much information that I can, right? I want to give as much information that I can disseminate. You know, as I always say to you guys, I know you all are always intrigued about the political conversations, but from time to time, I will use my forum to be able to give useful information. All right? I always try to use my forum to give useful information. It's not always all the time, you know, we could blast. You understand me? But however, in circumstances when we have to blast, we go blast. We don't afraid to blast. You understand me? But at the same time, we want to ensure that the information that we're disseminating are information that is useful to everybody. All right? I'm trying to get my next clip. Just give me 1 minute. I'm trying to ensure that I get my next clip to get ready to start this evening's class. All right. I don't know, for some reason I lost the information that I'm looking for. I showed that it was there. Let's see if we're on it there now. Okay. All right. So in keeping, all right, so thank you very much, Glenda. I want to send all that love all the way back to you. And as I said today, I just want to ensure that I can give as much information as I could. And there is an extraction from the recent interview with Dr. Mitchell, and I really want to play that clip right now, because if you listen the information, and I believe tonight the state's prime minister will be addressing the nation, and so we want to ensure that what he would be mentioning is what I believe the same sentiment that our political leader is sharing. All right, so let's take in this bit of information right now from Dr. Mitchell.
I think this is important and timely intervention, because it is well known that we are facing a national celebration of our annual Carnival. And this is a time that people want to relax and enjoy themselves. And it is a good thing for the country, and it brings in a lot of visitors to this country. And clearly a lot of our young people want to play their mass, their jab, and to really give off steam, so to speak. So it is a crucial time for all of us. And therefore we need all this stability and peace and good atmosphere in this time. But clearly, as was just pointed out, with the present atmosphere of state of crime in our country, and the problem related to a number of suicides and other incidents that some of them not even reported, it's quite worrying to all the citizens of this country. And what is, in my view, a bit worrying more is that we heard little or nothing in the last several weeks from the Ministry of National Security, and which of course must be of serious concern. As I pointed out in Parliament, the issues of peace and order and stability, it's not about any political party. In other words, we cannot make this a political issue, because when the country reaches a period of instability and when incidents of violence occur, anyone, whether the MNP and the C, can in fact be engulfed by it. So this has to be an issue that must concern every citizen. But we expect the government to lead. That's precisely what it's all about. I'm also very concerned, particularly as it relates to the issue of young people. Because young people, they are impressionable. We pass through stages of youth too. And we know how excited we can be, and how incidents can in fact make us believe that we can do what we want. I mean, we know that. We pass through the stage. So we have persons with more experience in the country would understand that we have to provide guidance and support as much as is possible. But it's clear that with these incidents of violence, particularly among our young population, it must worry us. And therefore we must do what we can to arrest the situation and work as a country, as all stakeholders. So I would expect that every single important group in our country, and everyone has a role, we expect to see the churches playing a much more vigorous role in the question of support and advice and initiatives to help deal with the situation. Clearly, as I mentioned before, government has to lead. We expect to see the private sector, because the private sector is being affected. Because as they perceive to be instability or issues of crime in the country, and that appears to be a worry to everybody, it must worry the person investing in the country. And because of the economic situation facing the country, the businesses are affected. So we would expect that the business representation from various sectors of the business community should be involved in the process of attempting to find some solution to the problem we are now facing. The trade union movement cannot remove itself from this, because their workers are being affected by what is taking place in the individual communities. And in addition, the more you have a perception of crime increasing in the country, the less there would be investment and the less workers would be employed. So it affects the trade union. So the trade union should be involved. Non-governmental communities, the people involved in various sectors of the community should be involved. Different ministries, tourism is going to be affected, should be involved. And as a responsible...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me apologize about that, for the abrupt cut in the information that I was giving. But however, I want you to get the gist of the conversation and understand that the different sectors in which Dr. Mitchell would have mentioned, and how in depth he looks at the situation that we're presently faced with. And what is saddening is that the persons, or to whom the powers that be, are expected to do what they ought to do, they are basically attempting to enjoy the carnival season more than you and I, forgetting basically the description given to them, the mandate given to them by the persons who elected them. Right? Now, the different sectors mentioned, and I am happy that Dr. Michel mentioned tourism. And even the night when he was speaking, I said to myself, I wonder if, just out of knowledge, do somebody on the other side simply listen to what the gentleman is saying? How he didn't just go to the people that sits in the chair. As he said, it is not a political conversation. The conversation is not geared to politics. And for a man that had been a politician for such a long time, to be mentioning that the conversation of what is happening in Grenada as it relates to the violent practices or the recorded violent practices doesn't sit solely on a political issue. He spoke as it relates to elderlies within our communities. He spoke as to churches. He spoke as it relates to trade unions, investors, private sectors. Understanding as a Grenadian and putting Grenada first, in understanding that the issue here should be looked at as state issue. And so in the next few minutes, we would hear an address that comes from the Prime Minister. And I believe it is an address that is surrounding the festive season. But I waited so long for this. And the mediocre address or press conference that he did a few weeks ago, which was more of a fairy tale more than anything else, as it relates to somebody maybe just telling him, better you go and do that. And he just thought to himself he went to do this. Listen the conversation from Dr. Mitchell. Listen to the direction he's going with in terms of the conversation that he's having. You simply just understand this and ask yourself the question, when it comes to state and the responsibility of state, who really needs to take charge of it? Who really takes charge of state when a country is being faced with what we're being faced with? Yet still we hear conversations of firing of managers in different sectors and different private entities. It has been confirmed that the manager at the National Stadium would have left. Or not left, but was fired or sent home. For whatever reason, I cannot give to it. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the question remains, the powers to whom it is given or who it has been given to, why are you so lackadaisical in getting this thing right? It saddens me, ladies and gentlemen, to continue to come on my program ever so often and mention this. The people are so laid back. These people are so laid back. It is a shame. Nothing concerns them. No issues, no conversation, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Correct me, when was the last press briefing? What was it surrounding? Ladies and gentlemen, we need to pay particular attention to our state and its affairs. Right? Really and truly, the fact of the matter is, there are persons whose mouths are shut wide. And I still ask for the churches to get involved. The persons who call themselves educationists. Persons who are expected to educate the people of this country. The persons who are expected to safeguard the people of this country. It really saddens me at this stage. And I anticipate we're just, 1 minute away. And I'm not going to be disrespectful, and the Prime Minister is addressing the nation. Somebody's mentioning that there is no song. Are you hearing me? Please indicate whether or not you're hearing me, because one person is mentioning that there is not any song. I am getting all my feeds on my mixer, but I don't know. Is everybody hearing me? Somebody's saying that they're not hearing any sound. So please indicate to me whether or not I'm being heard. All right. So as I was saying, I'm not going to be disrespectful that the Prime Minister is about to address the nation, and I'm going to have my program. However, I really, really was intrigued with I am very much intrigued, with the address that is about to happen. And I really want to hear what information that has to be given. Also, too, I am Sister Jenny's program today. Again, hats off to Sister Jenny. And she would have outlined many, many things that gives to the incorporation of politics within this year's Carnival season. And it really, really tells a lot as it relates to the persons that are given the opportunity to help develop this country. Instead, they're simply playing games and trying to be politically affiliated with everything that they do. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to end the program here. We have a very long weekend ahead. I hope to see some of your faces out there. If you're not in Grenada yet, please get to Grenada. I need to shake some of your hands. All right? Say hello and hi to some of you guys. I am going to see how best I can meet with you guys. All right? So, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was a wonderful evening. It has been a great week. I'm really back. I'm with back and forth with a little preparation over the weekend. I want to be the first to do this. My dad is going to, get married over the weekend, and I want to be it's going to be a special weekend for my family. So I want to extend very early congratulations to my father. I would be a part, and I would be standing right by your side on Sunday. God's blessings to you and your soon-to-be wonderful wife. I hope to see my good friend there, Sister Julie Dubois. I hope that you're going to be there. At least we could drink a bottle of water together. And be safe. God's blessings to each and every one of you all. Despite it is going to be a long weekend, take the time off to give God his recognition and his praise. I pray blessings over you and your entire family. And we would see again on next Tuesday. We would see again. And God's blessings to each and every one of you. Yes, Sister Dubois. Lovely. So I would see you on Sunday, Sister Dubois. God's blessings to you. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure. I know it was really short today. But however, I think that Sister Jenny did an excellent job. And so to come after her, I just, I could not have go over that bar. Right. So God's blessings to you. And we would see again next Tuesday. All right. God's blessings, everybody.
Shiny, and I'm simply saying, big up DJ Socoholic, taking soca to the top.